OCPP, which stands for Open Charge Point Protocol, is a communication protocol used for managing and controlling electric vehicle charging stations. It defines the communication specifications between charging stations and charging station management systems, allowing interoperability between charging stations from different manufacturers and various charging network platforms. Below is an introduction to OCPP, how to determine if OCPP is needed, and factors to consider when equipping OCPP charging stations. Role of OCPP. OCPP allows charging stations to communicate in real time with the charging station management system, including functions like start, stop, adjust charging power, and monitor charging progress. It provides a standardized way for charging stations from different manufacturers to seamlessly integrate and interoperate with various charging network platforms, facilitating interoperability in the electric vehicle charging infrastructure. Determining the need for OCPP. If your charging stations will be used in public charging stations, or need to interconnect with multiple charging network platforms or operators, then OCPP support is typically required. If your charging stations will serve as private charging devices for personal or specific organizational use and don't need integration with other systems or networks, then OCPP support may not be necessary. Factors to consider when equipping OCPP charging stations. Communication equipment. Charging stations need to be equipped with communication equipment that supports the OCPP protocol, usually in the form of embedded controllers or modules, to facilitate communication with the charging station management system. Network connectivity. Ensure that charging stations have reliable network connectivity to support communication with charging network platforms, such as through Ethernet, Wi-Fi, or mobile network connections. Security and authentication. Ensure that charging stations have security authentication and encryption features to protect the security and privacy of communication data. Software and firmware updates. Regularly update the software and firmware of charging stations to ensure compatibility with the OCPP protocol and optimize performance. Operations and monitoring. OCPP-enabled charging stations can communicate in real time with the charging station management system, allowing operators to monitor the status, charging progress, and revenue data of charging stations. This provides operators with better operational management and monitoring capabilities, helping to optimize the operational efficiency and user experience of charging stations. Charging strategy and scheduling. Charging stations that support the OCPP protocol can implement more flexible charging strategies and scheduling functions. Operators can dynamically adjust charging power, time, and pricing parameters based on demand to maximize the resource utilization and revenue of charging stations. Interoperability and openness. OCPP is an open standard charging protocol that supports interoperability between various charging stations and charging station management systems. This means you can choose charging equipment and network platforms from different manufacturers, enabling seamless integration and flexible system interoperability. Future expansion and technology upgrades. With the continuous development and technological advancements in the electric vehicle industry, charging equipment and network platforms will also evolve and upgrade. Choosing charging stations that support the OCPP protocol means you have greater future scalability and the ability to upgrade technologies, allowing you to better adapt to industry changes and user demands. In addition to these factors, considerations such as communication equipment, network connectivity, security and authentication, software and firmware updates, among others, should also be taken into account. Considering these factors comprehensively, equipping charging stations with support for the OCPP protocol can provide charging station operators with more advantages and opportunities, helping them achieve more efficient, flexible, and sustainable charging services.